This is gonna be the last video of this year. I thought I'd go for the albums I played the most in 2025. These are gonna be a bit more than the other in the other videos, more than 10 maybe. And we got some notes here with me, so I'll try to explain and describe the albums a bit better than before. Let's see how it goes. So first up is Motorhead with Another Perfect Day. I think one of the coolest covers they had for an album. This one comes after the last album with the classic lineup, that is Iron Fist. This album is more melodic, has a bigger classic rock sound. There's a lot of variety in the songs, even though there are no hits that people will know of Motorhead. The more mainstream listener, I guess, the songs are all great on this album. Next one is the first solo album by Brent Bjork. He is the drummer, has been the drummer for Kyuss and Fu Manchu. In 1999, he released this album, Galamanta. It's, you can say, the desert rock in its purest form. There are some rockers on the album, but on the other songs are like more in a psychedelic fashion, with some jazz and Latino influences here and there, very tribal. It's a cool mixture. Also, this has a very ZZ Top flavor. And speaking of ZZ Top, here we have Tres Hombres, their third album by them. This features La Grange, the John Lee Hooker inspired boogie hit, you may know. There's a lot of groove and swagger in this album. It's very innovative, even though it sounds like a classic rock album, blues based. The riffs can be very inventive. I think it's one of those classic albums that really stand out. Then an album I play very often, the White Album by the Beatles. This may be a cliche to show on the YouTube vinyl community, but I also think this is one of the greatest albums ever made. There's a wide variety of styles on the album. It's like the Beatles at their best, very melodic and catchy. This full of hits and some deep cuts that are also cool. Then we have my go-to Ramones album, Rocket to Russia. I think the Ramones are one of the coolest punk bands ever. I think this is their best um, third album. Um, I just never get tired of it. Next up, Pantera with Far Beyond Driven. No, I never was a really big fan of them in when I was younger. I used to like a couple of songs, but mainly the guitar sound a bit too thin and sharp for me, and the real machismo attached to it I didn't like. But this album really stands out. It's has most of the hits are on the in the beginning of the album, like Becoming, 5 Minutes Alone, and Broken. And the challenge is that you have to, after the hits, get through the mud of all the more gritty, depressive, dark other songs of the album. But it's a great lesson. You have to be in a particular mood, but awesome. Then we've got Breach. This is a Swedish post-hardcore, as they call it, or sludgecore band. I prefer the term noisecore. It's a mixture of noise rock and hardcore. The very prominent bass, dissonant chords, guitar chords, very percussive, great dynamics and hooks, very raw and dark as well. Like Neurosis, but more punk, I guess. If you like this album, you can check out similar acts like Dead Guy, Rorschach, Dead Guy, Rorschach, Converge also are slimmer, the more technical, I guess. And another band was Kiss It Goodbye. Just look it up. And then You Is Christmas. I only knew about this band because I recognized the cover on a friend of mine, his t-shirts. They used to play in my hometown. But I missed their concerts. This then was recommended by Nate Garrett on his Big Riff Energy podcast or YouTube channel. It was one of his 10 out of 10 albums. I really dig it. It's like space rock, but with some folk and country influences. They come from the Appalachian Mountains. That's in Kentucky, I guess, or in that region. The sound is very primal, a bit of Neurosis flavor, but it really stands on its own. Imagine like Dave Weindorf moving up the mountains of Kentucky and having a project there, something. Then another CD, Ignite with Scarred for Life. This pretty popular band in hardcore. This is, but I believe their first EP, maybe two EPs. This is not available on vinyl, but the first 5 songs are with one singer, and the other songs with another singer. I like the first 5. The other songs are okay. This is contains some old school hardcore, but with a new, fresh melodic approach. Especially if you can hear the build up on the first song. It's really excellent. I remember having this. I heard this on a compilation. This one. There were 2 songs off of this record, but I didn't really like the vocals, but it grew on me. So great stuff. Then another LP. I think this might be the best album released in 5+ years. I think it's from. It's already 3 or 4 years old, I guess. But I still play it a lot. It's a very emotional record. Gives you goosebumps. A combination of post-punk and indie style, say Chameleons and Stone Roses, mixed with some hardcore. They used to be a hardcore band before that, or used to play in other hardcore projects. They're quite popular these days. They've played big festivals. I forgot to mention the name. This is Hivis with Blending. Also relatively new, Angel Dust with Brand New Soul. This is a cool, uplifting album. It's has these guys also play in other. They used to be a hardcore band as well. They also played in other projects, I guess. Turnstile and Trapped Under Ice, I believe. But this more experimental. It has hardcore elements, but mixed with pop, indie, and garagey punk. And I hear some Ween here and there. It's a bit weird and but at the same time it feels great to listen to this album. This is very enjoyable. Then X, Repentance X, The Sickness of Eden. This is a vegan straight edge metalcore band from England, as the X's say. This could best be described as a super explosive, angry metalcore album with death metal riffs, Slayer riffs, breakdowns, acoustic parts that give you goosebumps. Like it would be, this is only 20 minutes, but a 40-minute hardcore album compressed into 20 minutes. So the riffs, they follow each other up very quickly. It's very fast, hard, aggressive, angry and pissed off. This is, I guess, the best thing since the 90s, like Archangel and Liar. Heavy stuff. Now for something different, this is a pop album by The Cure, The Head on the Door. This is the last album I discovered by The Cure. I somehow missed it, but it's a great one, except for one song. It's called Screw. Doesn't really fit the album, it's more like a B-side song. But the rest of the songs are excellent. There's 2 hits on here, Close to Me and In Between Days, as you may know. The other songs, they vary from very poppy, catchy songs to, and the other songs are more on the gloomy side. It's a cool mixture, but I have to say that the lineup of the song listing doesn't really fit. On the first half it's okay, but on the second half something's not right. I would put the songs in a different order, but that's just an opinion. Nevertheless, great album. Then we have Enema of the State, very popular album by pop punk band Blink-182. I put this on very often, a lot. It's very uplifting. It's very. It brings you joy. It gets you motivated. It's very catchy, melodic, excellent songwriting. This is the first album with the drummer Travis Barker, who is a outstanding drummer. He really takes the songs to a higher level, even though the songwriting is just phenomenal. Then, as a last band, I've got 3, because I play them quite equally. And these are 3 albums by the band Proto Martyr. I will show the first one first. This one, second one, and third album. I believe these are the 3 first albums, and before they made EPs, I think. I've seen them live with these 2 albums. Great live band. The music is like a combination of the best post-punk bands, like you can hear